Good morning, my friends. How are you? Welcome to another edition of Behind the Mic with me, Mike Avery, and I am back in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. This week, after taking a couple of weeks off out of the studio, I'm glad to be back in here. I am doing great overall, considering. And I'm here to record this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show. I will talk about who's coming up on the show here in a couple of minutes. Cliff, good morning, buddy. How are you? Wouldn't be a Behind the Mic or a Wednesday night live without you. Hello, Tommy. How are you, my friend? Always great to have you along with us, whether it's a Behind the Mic segment in the morning or a Wednesday night live segment in the evening. I will be back here tonight at 7 o'clock along with Amy Trotter of MUCC. Didn't get a chance to promote this ahead of time much, so just want to let you know she will be along with me tonight at 7 o'clock for Wednesday Night Live. Hey, Craig, congrats on your big Western muley. Very cool animal. Congrats on that. Mike, good morning. How are you? Appreciate the prayers of you and your brothers and sisters at your church. It helped, right? Here I am. Angie, good morning. How are you? How are things at Pizza Sam's? Glad to hear your most recent visit to Cincinnati or Cleveland. Cleveland went well. James, good morning. How are you? Sal, nice to have you along with us. Andrea calls me the Silver Fox. Happy to see you and thank God you're okay. Thank you, Andrea. I'm glad to be here and I am doing very well. Where's the eye patch? Ed says, where's the eye patch? It's right here. I haven't worn it in a couple of days. I will wear it today if I have to, but my vision is good enough now that I don't for the most part. In fact, I got cleared to drive yesterday and drove myself to the studio here this morning. I felt like a 16-year-old who had his license for the first time. My freedom was back. I could drive. Jerry, good morning. How are you? Yes, I have to fish and clean walleye. That's a good problem to have, Jerry. Hello, Ross. How you doing, buddy? Recovering from your surgery. I'm glad it went well, and I hope you continue to recover. Uncle Johnny, how you doing, buddy? Hope your knee continues to heal. It was so nice to see you and Aunt Debbie last night. I was glad we were able to make it to dinner. It was a very nice evening. Thank you, Joy. Good morning. I feel good. I got to be honest. I think I was feeling a little better earlier this morning. I think getting up a little bit early and then making the drive down here, though it was fine. I can feel it. I'm not 100% yet. I'm probably 90 overall. I'm probably 95%. And I'll take that. It was just 2 weeks and 3 days ago, 2 weeks ago, Monday, that I had the stroke. So I'm doing good. Could have been a lot worse. God was watching out for me. Thank you, all of you, for your prayers of support. That got me back on my feet. I have no doubt about that. Thank you, Cliff. I'm getting back there. Amy, good morning. How are you? I appreciate that. Even when I'm fully healed, I'll take all the prayers I can get. Ed, good morning. How are you, buddy? Ed Bolanowski. Ed, be careful of sunglasses. Why? Thank you, Bill. Appreciate that. Tim, good morning. How are you? I am. I'm back and I am better than okay, Jack. I'm good. Corey, good morning. How are you? Are you down south still or are you back north? Paul Phillips, good morning, Paulie. Congrats on your archery buck. I didn't get a chance to post that. It's been kind of crazy for me. Thank you, Marie. That is so wonderful. I appreciate that. Ken, good morning. How are you? Eddie, good to be back. Good to be back. Thank you, Bob. He's talking about this weekend. Good luck this weekend. Talking about the opening weekend of the firearm season, which starts Friday morning. I will be out there Friday morning. I hope the rest of you, many of you, will be as well. Yep, no eye patch. My vision is pretty darn good. My vision is almost all the way back. It's certainly, if my vision, God, don't listen to this, if my vision never got any better, I would be great. But my vision continues to improve. Paul checking in from Presque Isle. Mad Jack, good morning, buddy. Robert, I am doing great. Thank you. Was my stroke from hypertension? No, I had no high blood pressure. I had no high cholesterol. We may never know what my stroke was from. They did find a small hole in my heart, but I've had that hole for 66 years and it hasn't caused a stroke. So why would it cause it now? Cliffs is looking at the November forecast. No no S word in the forecast. No snow. I don't think we're going to have snow for the opening weekend. That's for sure. Fishing with the Griffins. Good morning. How are you? Corey struck out in Illinois, but wow, what an experience. Heard the loudest guttural roar from a 160 plus. I'm home tomorrow, then off to Missouri. Yep, the eye patch is gone. Now, I'm not saying that sometime throughout the day here in the studio, I won't put the eye patch on. If for nothing more than it looks good, it helps me. You have to admit. Okay, I'll put it on this eye. You have to admit. I can't put it on that eye because I can't see. You have to admit. I look pretty cool with an eye patch, right? You have to admit. I was tempted to continue to wear it even when I didn't have to, just because it looks so cool. Morning, Bruce. Jerry, good luck to you and your grandson. I will be out there Monday morning with my son, James, my granddaughter, Addison. I think my grandson, Trent. To be honest, I don't feel comfortable, and I'm sure the doc would advise against it, of me walking into a blind in the woods in the dark. So my son James says he's gonna put me in a quad and take me out there in a quad, and I will welcome that help, and I will accept that help. You got to know what your limitations are, right? So James is going to get me out there in a quad, and we'll see what happens. Paul, good morning. How are you? Aditya, my son-in-law, Aditya, the father to my new grandson. You saw me post the pictures with a picture the other day of Bean, of my hand and little Bean's hand on top of mine. Wasn't that cool? Aditya, thank you for blessing us with that new grandson. I hope everything is going well down there this morning. I hope Bean is sleeping for you guys. Corey, eyes on a 180. Wow. Onyx is a great tool. It is a great tool. I use it even in our lease property here in Michigan. And I am on the mend. I do have a sore neck this morning, though. Matt, good morning. How are you? You survived your 40th. Happy birthday, Matt. I remember when I was 40. It was 26 years ago. Jay, I am feeling very good. I'm feeling much better. Good luck out there in the chilly woods of West Branch this morning. Rick, I am feeling better. You're hoping to get out for the first time since May 1st. Bum knee and too many surgeries. Terry checking in. Good morning. How are you? Hello, Sean. Nice to have you along with us. Sean, did you see the video I posted of the Angler Quest panfish boats? Pretty cool, huh? Hello, Deb. How are you? Yeah, I am feeling better. I'm back. I'm upright. I'm here. I survived a stroke. God is great. And I'm here. So nice to have you along with us. Jim, how you doing, buddy? I bet there's a big buck in your future this weekend. Stephanie. Morning, Mike. My mother passed last week due to a stroke. I got a nice 7-point in Genesee County, hoping to tag out in honor of my mother. So glad you're doing better. My prayers are with you and your family, Stephanie. Strokes are a weird, screwy, nasty, interesting thing. The thing, and the thing that really helped me with a stroke, and I've used this as a learning experience. I've learned that you have a 4-hour window after you experience stroke symptoms. You have 4 hours to get to help, and if stroke isn't a bleeder stroke, which mine wasn't, you have 4 hours to get that clot busting drug into your system. It was in my system in less than an hour, and that's probably the main reason why I'm doing so well. That and God's grace and looking out for me. So if you think you're having a stroke, if you think somebody around you is having a stroke, if you think you are seeing someone who is having a stroke, don't mess around. Don't mess around. A stroke is nothing to mess around with. Better to call in the cavalry and go to ER and get looked after. If it's not a stroke, better to have that scenario than to actually be suffering a stroke. I went to the speech pathologist the other morning. She said, "You're fine," and she checked me out and she says there are so many people that she works with who have had a stroke, say in the evening, and they go to bed. She says, don't do that. She said, if you think you're having a stroke, go get help. This guy right here, he's off partying in Vegas. He's drinking. He's smoking cigars in Vegas. He didn't even know I had a stroke.
I didn't.
But I'm back.
I saw the Wednesday night feed, and there you were with your eye patch, and I went, "What the heck?" You scared the living hell out of me.
No patch this morning, though.
No
eye
patch this
patches.
morning.
I can see.
I'm happy for you.
I appreciate that, Art. I'm just glad to be upright. Glad to be here. What do you always say? There's no guarantees.
No guarantees.
So take advantage of what you got.
One day at a time.
One of the good guys right here, Art Lewis of WSTW. You can hear him on WSTW AM and FM and WSTW.com.
Absolutely.
All right, Art,
Talk to you later.
I'm glad to be back in here with you, Art.
Glad to have you.
Oh, really? 38, one last year made her better. You know what, Stephanie? You're right. She is in a better place than she was when she was suffering here. Hey, Pastor, how you doing, buddy? Thank you. God has blessed every day of my life for the last 2 weeks. Anyway, thanks for being with us. Stephanie, Kathy, good morning. How are you? Thanks for joining me on this edition of Behind the Mic. As I say, I will be back tonight at 7:00 for another edition of Wednesday Night Live. Amy Trotter of MUCC is going to join me. Now, I like to be able to promote those events much better in advance than we have this week, but I've been a little preoccupied. So Amy Trotter of MUCC joins me tonight at 7:00 for another edition of Wednesday Night Live. Before I run out of time, let me tell you who's coming up on the show this week. Kevin Vistison, who is the host of Deer Hunter Podcast, will be my guest in the first hour this week. He talks about the state of deer hunting today and a little bit about his hunting adventures the past few weeks. In hour number 2, Scott Keatsman of Linwood Taxidermy joins me. What do you do with that trophy once you put them on the ground? And by trophy, I don't mean 160-inch 10-point. I mean any deer you're proud of. What do you do to make the taxidermist job easier? Then Justin Tomei of MUCC joins me. The elections are behind us. We know what the state legislature looks like. How does that affect our hunting and fishing activities? This week's Ask Avery question. Blaze orange if you're bow hunting during the gun season. You can imagine what the question is. We will get it answered. And in hour number 3, hey, Justin, hey, I know one of those people. Corey says his buddy Ali Shakur. Ali's a really good guy. Ali Shakur. Love that guy. We need to get him on the show soon. Joe checking in from the SVR SC Marketplace. Kevin, good. Congrats, Kevin, on tagging out. Kevin shot 2 beautiful bucks during bow season. He's done for the year. And as I say, Justin Tomei of MUCC, MUCC.org. And coming up in the third hour of this week's show, Mark Martin talks about fall fishing, a little bit about deer hunting and more. And then we'll wrap it all up with wild game chef extraordinaire Dixie Dave Miner. That's all coming up this week on the Outdoor Magazine radio show. Ali seems like he's a pretty humble guy. It might be hard to blow his head up. Blow up his head. Blow his head up, blow up his head. Either way. All right. Let me get back to a couple of things I want to talk about. Rifle season starts Friday, a half hour before sunrise. I will be out there along with my son, James, and I hope 2 of my grandkids will be hunting our lease property. We're blessed to have some lease property. I've taken a doe off that lease property. Addison took a nice 8-point off that lease property. Trent is playing cat and mouse with a couple of big bucks. So we'll see what happens. It'll be nice just to be out there. I haven't been out now, well, since before my stroke. So it's been a while since I've been out there. Okay. Does not look like we are going to have snow for the opener. But it does look like it's going to be chilly enough where that big blind that I'm sitting in, I'm going to take my heater out there with me that morning. It wouldn't be the opening morning of firearm season if you didn't have a heater at your feet, right? Mine will be with me. Speaking of the weather, though, and I want to go back to the old sayings. My grandpa, my dad always said this because he's gone now. He said, it won't freeze up in the fall until the ponds are full. I didn't think it was going to happen this year, but we've got some real good rain now. The pond behind the house, it could freeze now because it's full. So the old sayings, this one from my dad, it won't freeze up until the ponds are full in the fall. I think it holds true this year. Dave, good morning. Corey, right back at you, buddy. Hey, Brent. Brent says got a nice doe last night. She came into your decoy. Congrats. And I suspect you were hunting with a Darton crossbow. I talked with Ted Harpin. I sound Jewish. You're from Jersey. I talked with Ted Harpin of Darton Archery a couple of days ago. I said, Ted, anytime you guys are ready to do some advertising, I'm here for you, because even though I'm shooting a 10-point crossbow these days, when it comes to archery and it comes to either compounds or crossbows, my heart is in Hale. I love that Michigan-based company. What else is going on? Oh, standing corn. There isn't much standing corn, which is good for the firearm season. You know how it is with standing corn. If you've got it, the deer are in it. If you don't have it, one less place for the deer to hide. So there is no standing corn. That should help as well. Ham for the holidays. We will kick that off. Next Wednesday night. Not tonight, but next Wednesday night, the 20th, we will have why don't we have Nick Grillo of Michigan Brand on with us, and we'll kick off ham for the holidays. Freight Master Resources. Good morning. What is Freight Master Resources? Glad to have you along with us. Jim, now that I've been cleared medically to drive and to get out and get around, I will get out and do some casting for walleye at night. How have you been doing, by the way? By the way, my name is Mike Avery. I'm glad to be back here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio, here to record this week's show. It looks like Charlie Root is my guy this morning. Charlie, are you my guy this morning?
I am your guy this morning.
All right.
Oh, you're my guy this morning.
I'm here. Charlie left me a nice sign this morning. He said, welcome back, Mr. Avery. Thank you for that, Charlie. It's good to be back. And in celebration of me being back, I don't have any hunter sticks with me this morning, but I do have some bit of honeys.
Oh, well, thank you.
Brent says he was using a Darton. Phenomenal crossbow, never disappoints. My Darton crossbows never let me down either. Catching fish when the wind allows, headed after perch this morning. Good luck, Jim. Let me know how you do. All right, so I told you who's on the Outdoor Magazine radio show. I told you that it's my first Wednesday back in the studio. It's good to be back here. In a couple of minutes now, I will switch gears and I will record the opening segment of this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show. You are more than welcome to stick around as I do that. I will talk about some of the same topics that we have discussed this morning. Carl, good morning. Ray, nice to have you along with us. Welcome to this edition of Behind the Mic with me, Mike Avery, here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio, here after a couple of weeks off. Taylor, good morning, buddy. Or Tyler from MUCC. Good morning, Mike. Took a doe with my dad this weekend. First time ever hunting together. Excellent. Looking forward to an exciting weekend. Tyler of MUCC, mucc.org. Tyler, if you have that graphic made or when you get it made, shoot me a text and I will post it. Good morning, Danny. How are you? Danny, look what I got. A Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. Even though it's on an overpriced Yeti mug, it's a mug that I didn't have to buy because I refuse to buy Yeti because it is overpriced. But when my friends and family buy me Yetis, I'll be glad to use them. I just won't buy them. Okay, so in about a minute now. 50 seconds. 50 seconds. Bernie, good luck to you. He's watching Bucks chase does right now. I hope the same for you during the firearm season. All right, my friends, I got to switch gears here now. I cannot respond to you as I have been for the last 20 minutes or so, but I will tonight as I come back for Wednesday Night Live, this time with Amy Trotter of MUCC. Always a pleasure to have Amy on. She's such a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of information. She's just really a nice person. 10. 10? 10. 10. Gosh. Didn't take Charlie to jump right long to jump right back into it, did he? One and last time. Detroit River on fire this fall. Right now, how cool is that? Michigan's #1 outdoor radio show. Mike Avery's I'm back. Mike Avery has covered the outdoor. I'm feeling pretty damn good. Not quite 100%. But pretty damn good. I'm upright. Oh, and I'm drinking coffee, and I'm here in the studio. All right, my friends, you have a good day. I will have a good day. I will be back tonight for another edition of Wednesday Night Live. All right, I got to go. Have a great day. Thank you, Ken Hunter, for that introduction, and welcome to another edition of the Outdoor Magazine radio show right here on the Outdoor Magazine radio network on more than 30 radio stations across the great state of Michigan. And so glad to have you back with me. And man, does it feel good to be back in the studio as we record this just a couple of days before the opening day of the firearm season. As you hear this radio show, it will be the Michigan firearm season. How cool is that? A tradition here in our great state. And I, God willing, will be out there taking advantage of it just as you are. Just a quick update for those of you who are wondering. I'm doing well after my stroke just a couple of weeks ago. By the time you hear the show, 2.5 weeks ago. Again, God was watching over me. He spared me. Your prayers have been much appreciated. So thank you for that. But I'm doing well. I got the all clear to drive, so I'm back on the road. I felt like a 16-year-old who got his license. It's like, I'm free. I can do things again. My wife, Denise, doesn't have to drive me around. So that feels pretty good. But I'm doing well. And again, thank you for that. So the weather for this weekend doesn't look like we're going to have any snow really anywhere in our state for the opener. I've been doing a lot of radio. Imagine that. I've been doing some radio interviews with other affiliates across the state or with my affiliates. And the question they have is, why do you guys want snow for the opener? Well, it's not just so much for the opener, but it's for gun season in general. They say, oh, you like snow for tracking. Yeah, snow is wonderful for tracking, but think about this. When you are hunting a brown animal and you're hunting a brown animal in a brown woods, it's a little harder to see them. It just comes down to this. If you've got a white background, if you've got white snow on the ground, if you've got snow on the trees, they're easier to see. Don't think we're going to have that this year. But it looks like we will have cooler temperatures, and that is welcome. Cooler temperatures to keep the deer moving. Although this time of year, you get the rut I don't know how much weather plays a role. The deer are going to be moving. I'm going to be sitting over a food plot for opening day and opening weekend. Watching the trail cameras because I haven't been out there in person the last couple of weeks, but I've been keeping a close eye on things. My grandson Trent has been out there. He's doing some surveillance for me. He's been playing cat and mouse with a couple of big bucks. My hope is that this opening weekend that Trent gets to connect with one of those big bucks that are indeed running around on our lease property. I'm surprised at the quality of some of the deer that we've had around there this season. Really kind of nice and good to see. So we'll be looking forward to that. There is very little standing corn in my part of the state. In fact, across much of the state, there isn't much standing corn at all. And isn't that nice to see? When there is no standing corn, it's one less excuse that we as deer hunters have. But when there's standing corn, the deer will go into that corn. They'll live in that corn, right? They'll sleep in the corn. They'll eat in the corn. They'll drink in the corn. They'll breed in the corn. And there's really not much reason for them to leave standing corn. But we don't have much standing corn. So that is, that's wonderful. One less excuse for us, right? So I think I talked about the fact that we had a lot of rain after the corn was harvested. The level of water in the pond is up behind the house. My dad always said, and this is an old saying, and I love these old sayings, that it won't freeze up for the fall until the ponds are full. And I wondered if that was going to happen this year, because it was so dry. The pond behind the house, the water level was low. Everywhere I looked at the ponds as we were driving around, the water level was low. But it looks, the ponds are, the water level's up. It looks like we're good to go for a freeze. So again, the old sayings come true. The old sayings are true because they've been around for a long time. People talk about the old sayings being true because they've been around for so long. There is truth in those old sayings. All right, let's talk a little bit about deer season. I will be back out there, again, God willing, celebrating the history and tradition of deer hunting here in Michigan. Do I expect to take a big buck? Nope. Do I hope to take a big buck? Yes. Of the four of us that I know of right now who will be out there opening morning on the property, Addison's already shot a nice buck, my granddaughter. James shot a beautiful buck down in Illinois. I shot a beautiful doe already. So pretty happy. I'm rooting for Trent. My grandson Trent has been out there doing some all-day sits. It's hard to do an all-day sit. I really can't do it at this point anymore. But if you can, why not, right? Opening day is a good day to be out there all day long because who knows what you're going to see, right? There's still some bucks out there chasing does around, looking at the trail cameras. We're seeing some midday activity. So why not? If you can be out there, you can't shoot a buck if you're not out there. So if you can, get out there and hunt all morning long. Plus, if you can stay out there midday, as the other hunters who are going in to take a lunch break, they bump the deer, they move the deer around. And if you're sitting out there, you can take advantage of that. Let's see. Our ham for the holidays kicks back off. We will do that starting this Wednesday coming up. I think I will have Nick Grillo of Michigan Brand Meats on Wednesday Night Live to kick off the ham for the holidays. You can join us to win a Michigan brand ham. Thank you, Nick Grillo, for your generosity. Who's coming up on the Outdoor Magazine radio show? Thank you for asking. Coming up after the break, Kevin Vistison of the Deer Hunter podcast will join me to talk about deer hunting in Michigan today, the state of deer hunting today, how his adventures have been the last couple of weeks out there, and just get us jacked up for deer season. In hour number 2, Scott Keatsman of Linwood Taxidermy will join me, and then Justin Tomei of MUCC. Justin will be along to talk about now that the election is behind us, what can we look forward to? What can we expect? How does it affect the makeup of the election? How does it affect things here in Michigan? He will talk about that. Then this week's Ask Avery question, talking about hunter orange. If you are bow hunting, do you need to wear hunter orange? Well, the answer is yes, but I will go into detail on that. And then coming up in our third hour this week, Mark Martin, Michigan's Mr. Walleye, talking about fall fishing, talking about also deer hunting as well. Mark is a hardcore hunter. And if we have time, we'll talk about hunting sand dunes for whitetails. I had never heard about hunting whitetails in the sand dunes until Mark brought it up. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about his upcoming fishing vacation schools. Mark is one of those guys who prays for ice. He prays for cold water, cold weather, and for ice. Me, not so much. But we will talk about that and more. And of course, wild game chef extraordinaire Dixie Dave Miner will join us to wrap up the show as well. My name is Mike Avery. Feels great to be back here in the studio. Thank you. Thank you for your prayers of support. Thank you, Lord, for sparing me. Thank you that I'm upright and I have a chance to be here in the studio. The website, by the way, is MikeAveryOutdoors.com. That's MikeAveryOutdoors.com. My email address is Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Love to hear from you. Please send me your pictures. I will post your success stories. If you have a second, if you wouldn't mind, push the animal's tongue, push the deer's tongue back in its mouth. However, I have a new little magic tool that I can change that. I can hide the tongue. I can push it back in the mouth for you. But please, if you don't mind, do that. All right. I talked about who's coming up after the break. I talked about being back here in the show. I talked about Wednesday Night Live. I talked about the email address, Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com, and I talked about the website. It's great to be here. So glad to be with you. I hope you get a chance to get out and enjoy this upcoming deer season. Again, share those pictures, Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Lots more coming up. Stay with us. Alrighty, my friends. I'm going to end this live stream. Take a little break here. And I will see you tonight for Wednesday Night Live. Have a great day.